Read this word.
Betwin.
What?
Betwin.
What?
Betwin? How do you get Betwin? Between. Gen Alpha can't read for shit. Bro, it's that damn phone. It's that damn swiping. It's that damn TikTok. The AI.
My students can't read. They're not
They
recognized.
know 6'7" though. I seen some videos of teachers being like, they have to explain 3 times, and even after the 3rd time, they still don't know. Like, huh?
Letters, they're not recognizing letter sounds.
Attention spans are waning because everything is high stimulation. They can just scroll, watch less than
This the Coco Melon generation.
a minute.
Look, you talking about
Thing is high stimulation. They can just scroll, watch less.
you're talking about high stimulation, but look what the you got on your screen. Hold here for 2 times speed. I yap too much. You're contributing to what it is that you're talking about. That's stimulation, bro. I was never a fan. The Griffin method where they end up talking really fast and then they slow down. A fan of that because you're not actually saying anything of value. Like if you're somebody that's actually saying something that's worth talking about, then it's like, okay, people will listen to you. But if you have to speed it up and slow it down, that means you're just regurgitating.
Than a minute.
We are in a crisis mode in American schools.
The kids can't read, write,
Bro, imagine your tax dollars are going to Sigma Riz. Sigma Riz.
or remember anything or use their imaginations, and
Boys about to drop. Oh, we on that. Don't worry. We on that.
teachers are wondering why.
So apparently Gen Alpha can't read, write, or spell because learning 6-7 is apparently more important than reading at grade level.
6, 7.
Oh my god, we are so doomed. Every single time
we doing, bro. It's cause of the. It's cause of this. Yeah, they overstimulated, bro. These kids, they getting on Coco Melon and they playing Roblox. They know Bombadillo, Crocodilo. They know Tung 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 Sahur. They know all that. They know all the brain rot. You know, and then it's like when they go to school, it's like you can't focus because you're not being stimulated, bro. And that's how it is for our generation too, for Gen Z. We be on our phones just doom scrolling. And I'm happy that I'm breaking the cycle. I'm gonna keep it a buck, because that shit used to have me in a full Nelson, bro. You wanna see some shit? You wanna see some, I'm gonna show you some shit that's life-changing. Watch this. What happens if you doom scroll, watch this, for 2 hours? Let's just do 2 hours, right? Look at this. Doom scrolling for 2 hours triggers a fight or flight response, flooding your brain with cortisol. So you getting a cortisol spike from doom scrolling and causing immediate mental and physical fatigue. So your brain's reward system is literally cooked because you're overstimulated, bro.
I opened TikTok recently, I feel like it's another teacher talking about how far behind Gen Alpha students really are and how quickly it's getting worse.
But I don't understand why they not stressing to y'all how bad it is.
I heard like in Sweden or some shit, they going off the technology. They're going back to pen and paper and textbooks. I feel like that's the way that was supposed to be, bro. We should have just kept it like that, you know?
I'm trying to be funny, but these kids are...
And then it's like a whole other thing. This shit got my brain going too. People are having kids just for the sake of having kids, right? And when the kid is being a kid, man, shut up here. Take this fucking iPad and get away from me. Just go on the computer and you just letting your kids, they just frying their brains all day, every day. You're not enriching them. You're not putting them in shit that's making them smarter, bro. I feel like if I had a kid, which I don't plan on having any kids, but if I had a kid, I'm sending them to Kumon. Y'all know Kumon, the place where they're doing all the workbooks and shit. I'm putting them in sports. Like, I'm getting there. I'm building up their neurochemistry, bro. I'm teaching them about team building and communication and boom, bro. Yeah, corn. Oh my God, don't even get me started about that. That shit by your brain. That will send your brain to hell and back, bro. Like I'm telling you. Look at this. This is what happens when you goon and watch corn. I'm gonna show you this shit right now. This is your brain right here. This is your dopamine levels at baseline, right? So when you start gooning and you start doing this shit, right? Your pleasure molecule, because dopamine is pleasure, it shoots up, it peaks, it spikes like crazy. You hit all-time highs, then you nut. That crashes below baseline, and then it takes a long time to feel back to normal. So you feel like for a good period of time, right? And what do? You spike it all over again, and you just keep doing that. That's why you feel like that's why you can't enjoy life. That's why it's hard for you to do basic tasks, because your brain chemistry is out of whack, bro. Come on. It's so many things that's influencing us, bro. Sugar rush. Oh yeah, processed foods, watching all these shows and like that is not good for us, bro. We need to be like, there's cheap dopamine and then there's like earned dopamine, you know? What's good, Jazz? How you doing today? Earned versus cheap dopamine. Let me show you this shit. Yeah, exactly. Because it's chemicals. It's chemicals in your brain, but there's different kinds. So there's like watching TV, drinking alcohol, eating junk food, doing drugs, doom scrolling, gambling. That's all cheap dopamine, right? But things that are good for you, which I kind of have been I'm trying to seek out now, new experiences, going outside, working on your goals, getting rest, getting good sleep, exercising, you know, and we need to be focusing more on this than this, you know. And it's tough because it's like you become dependent on it almost. But when you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's like freeing, bro.
I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
I teach 8th grade history, and I have 110-ish students. 2 of them are reading on grade level.
I could probably count on one hand how many kids are actually performing on their grade level.
18 of them are at a kindergarten level. 55 of those students are between a 2nd and 4th grade level. That's a lot of them.
Now at this point, you'd hope that these teachers are exaggerating, or that it's just a few bad classrooms with a few bad students. But unfortunately, it's not.
I'm a bartender at a resort, and this family came up to the bar to order their food. One of the kids, who's about 8 or 9 years old, asked what flavor of Dippin' Dots we had, so I handed her a menu. This way she could read the flavors, and I was going to continue helping the rest of the party. When I tell you that I handed her the menu, and she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, "I can't read." I was left absolutely speechless for a few seconds. You're going to tell-
That's the TikTok videos, bro. That's what TikTok does to you, bro. You have to spoon feed everything to this generation of kids, bro. They don't want to look for anything. They don't want to Google anything. They just want to swipe. They want everything just handed to them on a silver platter, bro. That's why I had to get off TikTok a little bit, because I'm like, whoa, like, you could put in so much effort for somebody, but they just going to spoon feed. You're just spoon feeding them. You spoon feeding them, you know? It's horrible, bro. It's really horrible, man. I'm not going to lie. It's crazy. These kids, they growing up off of, this is the generation of YouTube shorts, TikTok, steal a brain rot, you know? Damn, what do you mean you can't read? That's a problem.
Me around 2nd, 3rd grade, she can't read. I truthfully did not believe what I was hearing, and that's just frightening.
How do you not know how to read at 9? We're not talking about like Shakespeare here, okay? This is dipping dot flavors, you know, like vanilla, strawberry. How the hell did we get here?
I was talking to one of our church kids, and he like very boldly told me, "Yeah, I don't know how to read, and neither does anybody in my class."
What?
Mind you, this kid is starting 5th grade in August, and I thought he was playing, so I told him,
type,
you know,
though.
kids will do anything for money. I was like, "I'll give you $10 if you can tell me what this bag says." It said chips in giant letters. So this dude goes CHIPS, and I go, "What does that say?" And he goes, "Potatoes."
Nah, he had to have been trolling. He had to have been trolling. Boy, if that was my kid, I'm smacking him in the back of the head. The you just say, boy? The I'm putting them through punishment. What you mean you can't read? I'm bringing back, you know, bro, I'm happy that my parents did certain. When I was a kid, I used to cry because I used to hate doing school. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I used to act fake sleep when my mom would be like, "Yo, so did you do your homework?" I'd be fake sleep. She like fake have to wake me up, right? So I act like I'm asleep, I'm too tired, but she'd make me do that shit. But like in 3rd grade, they would dead like lock me in a room and make me do the times table. And they'd be like, "Yo, until you write out the whole times table, you can't get out." And I know that shit sounds kind of crazy, but like, I'm happy that I did that, because it's like, damn, I'm happy I'm not dumb, you know? But that's like, I feel like that's what technology has done. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of reading? You know?
Oh, dude!
You have video.
Hey, Shira? Yes? We have to do our sponsored segment right now. Right now? Yeah, your phone at least.
Hey, shout out to you.
To get
Shout out to you,
supers to
but,
track
hey, my
earned
sponsor
up or
segment.
out and forever just to see anything. Use my bonus. First, I thought, okay, maybe these are just crazy one-off stories. And then I looked at the actual numbers, and they're kind of insane. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, fewer than 1 in 3 students can read proficiently. And to be specific, only a third of 4th graders and 31% of 8th graders read at the proficient.
This is a good advertisement for me to start reading. I'm gonna start getting on my Kai Cenat at the timer and go. All the kids would be playing outside, and my dad wouldn't let me go play with them until I typed a full chapter. You had to type of a random book he would give me. I hated it, but guess who types with 85 words per minute with minimal errors now? That's what I'm saying, bro.
Level in
That's
2020.
good.
Means more students
Literally.
are struggling to understand simple stories, pick out the main idea, or even explain what they just read. And it doesn't stop at reading, it spills into everything else, especially writing. Because now, a lot of them aren't
Bro,
even
and
being
I'm just thinking about that shit where it's like now like writers are writing shows for people to, you know, that are on their phones and for smooth brain people. That's like we're literally getting dumber. Yo, you know that meme with Joe Bartolozzi where they put his face on the thumbnail? It's like our brains are shrinking. That's literally what the fuck is going on right now, bro. Oh my god.
asked to write full essays anymore. And even when they are, they refuse to write even a single paragraph because it feels too long.
I'm talking about high schoolers. I teach 10th grade now. If I ask a child to handwrite something, even just a paragraph, 5 sentences, basic paragraph, they roll their eyes, they throw tantrums, they get really, really unruly.
And don't get me even started on their spelling.
Read this word. What? What?
Batwin.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
Okay, I get it. Spelling is hard.
Batwin.
Trust me, I know I had to learn English when I was 11. And a lot of English words make absolutely no sense. For example, the word choir. Because
How
when
do
you
you get Betwin? Between? What the fuck? Yo, hey, see, hey, all of my honor students, stand up. Your boy, y'all didn't even know. Your boy is smart. Your boy's a smart dude. I'm a smart dude. I was in, yo, what up, Novely? Bro, I was in honors English. I was in honors and AP English. I was in AP history. Yes, I was doing my thing, bro. Listen, one thing I know how to do is read, and one thing I know how to do is write, okay? And I know, and I like that kind of shit, okay? I never did a book report. Come on, bro. Okay, my GPA was crazy. I never said I was the smartest, okay? I just did enough. I literally had, like, literally on the dot 3.0. Like, my shit was 3.0. Because I'm going to be honest, some classes I wasn't supposed to be in. Like, I took AP Stats. Man, I was not supposed to be in that shit. Like, there's certain classes that I just didn't give a fuck about. Like, I didn't like math. I was never really like a math kind of guy. So I never really did good in math. But I did good in other things. And then, like, certain classes, like the language classes, like I took French class and I wasn't trying in that shit. I was just literally sleeping in that shit. I'm like, bro, like, I'm just gonna fucking get a C. I don't even give a fuck. Like, bro, C's get degrees. That's when I learned. If I could go back to school, that's what I would do. I would just literally just coast on by. Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter whether you got an A or a C, bro. They're not looking at your fucking report card and shit. You know? Like, literally, if I knew that, I would just chill. Like, if I knew that shit didn't really matter, I would literally... Well, nowadays, F can get you where you want. But I would just literally do the bare minimum and just play the game and just chill.
Just hear the word choir. Okay, you break it up. Choir. So you come to the logical conclusion that it's spelled like this. Choir. And then you find out how it's actually spelled, and it's spelled like this. No. That's chower. Chower. That's not choir. Stop trying to gaslight me into thinking that these are the same words because they're definitely not. So yes, there are going to be a lot of confusing words you're going to come across. But the word between? Really?
Showing me how to spell between.
Beethoven. What class is this, bro?
Is that a W?
No, that's an H.
I'm sorry, but how do you get from TH, to W? Well, you get there by not learning the alphabet properly all the way back in kindergarten.
Damn.
Kindergarten is a crucial stage in a child's education.
I'm not gonna lie, they need to start extending people's class times and like, see, this is you know the No Child Left Behind program? Some people need to get left behind. Like, some of y'all need to go back. You know what I mean? Like, some people need to go back. And I'm not going to say that the school system is perfect, because there's obviously, like, holes in the school system. I feel like they need to make kids take, like, what is it called? Like, learning tests to see what kind of learners that they are and put them in similar classes with people that got similar learning styles. And I think they also need to divide up classes by IQ, bro. Pause stream. I need to take a dump. Let me know when you're done. But yeah, bro, you know, like, I feel like they gotta have, you gotta be in the classes where your IQ is at. You gotta be in the classes where your learning style is at. Boom, you know.
journey, where they begin to acquire foundational literacy skills.
Don't take the phone to take a dump. That's how you get hemorrhoids. Don't do that shit. Take a shit and come back.
Some children may face challenges in developing those skills, which can have long-lasting implications for their academic success. And yes, that sounds very academic and serious, but the idea is actually really simple.
It's pretty simple. If you don't know how to read and you don't know how to write, and you need to write an essay, and you need to do research, and you need to read articles, how are you gonna do it? Come on, bro. Every grade stacks on. First, you learn addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Then you start doing long division. Then you start doing, quotients and exponents and everything builds up on what you learned before. So if you didn't learn the foundations and you don't understand things on a foundational level, you'll never be able to expand. That's the problem. Some just need to go back to elementary. Some people need to go back to summer school, bro. And they need tutoring. Watching Nizzy is better than hemorrhoids or worrying about hemorrhoids. Nah, facts. I already had hemorrhoids once. Yeah, stay off that fucking phone, gang. Ew. No, Ethan, why did you say that, bro? Ew, bro.
If you fall behind in reading, you'll fall behind basically in every other subject.
Yeah.
Since, reading is kind of like an essential life skill.
And it's like, bro, when it comes down to I've learned this about people from doing TikTok. People's active listening and their comprehension skills are so bad. The internet fried people's ability to actually listen. Like, people don't listen word for word. Like, if you don't hook them and you aren't stimulating them, then they can't understand it. And that's the problem, bro. That's literally the problem. They can't focus. And they're not listening.
Like trying to play a video game with no controller and wondering why you keep losing, or trying to build IKEA furniture with no instructions, or trying to bake a cake with half of the ingredients missing. You get the point.
I say this with the utmost love and patience that I can say. Y'all, the literacy rates right now are insane. I teach first grade. Kids aren't reading. They're not recognizing letters. They're not recognizing letter sounds. I have students that
how are these kids advancing to the next grade? They're just bringing them up? So if you fail everybody, or you tell this to the principal, what are they gonna say? Well,
recognize their letter sound. We gotta do something.
And some of you are probably thinking oh, some kids are just slower than others, they'll catch up. Well, a longitudinal study following students from 1st to 4th grade found that the poor 1st grade reader almost inevitably remains a poor reader by the end of 4th grade. So no, they don't just magically catch up. If you don't tackle reading problems early, they don't just go away, they get worse. And that's how you get high school students who still don't know the alphabet.
Every year that I've ever taught band, at the beginning of the year, when you're dealing with beginner musicians,
oh my God, first come on, I know that.
Thing that you do is teach them how to read notes on a music staff. And usually what I see in my classes when students are having a hard time identifying the note names on the staff, most of the time these issues have to deal with them not understanding that there's a line space, alternating orders. But this past year, it was different. A lot of these kids would not even use alphabet symbols. They would be making up symbols. They would not even know how to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G on their piece of paper. They would also have issues not knowing alphabetical order in general. So if they knew how to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, they couldn't answer to me what letter would come after C in the alphabet. And I'm not just talking 1 or 2 kids in the class. I'm talking closer to 50%.
And you're probably thinking that this is 1st grade, 2nd grade, maybe 3rd grade students.
School.
No. Try 7th graders.
And we're not also
7th grade? Bro, when I was in 7th grade, we were doing we were doing algebra. We were doing y is equal to mx plus b. We were doing full-blown algebraic equations and legitimate math and writing and reading and stuff like that. Whoa, nah, y'all are fried. That's crazy.
About 6th graders. We're talking about 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Kids that are about to go into high school.
Not knowing music notes, that's completely normal. But not knowing the alphabet, that's a problem. But not knowing the alphabet in 7th grade, that's terrifying. Okay, we gotta go back to the basics like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Because clearly we skipped a few steps there, right? Let's send them back.
They would be making up symbols.
Now, the strangest part of all of this is that Gen Alpha actually reads more words per day than any other generation in human history. That's right. They're the first generation to fully grow up immersed in digital technology with access to information at all.
So what's the difference between reading on a screen and reading on a board where your shit starts to glitch? You could type out tung 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 sahur, but you can't type a full sentence?
Times, like statistically, objectively, more access to words through captions, comments, and subtitles. So if exposure to words alone made you literate, these kids would probably be the most well-read, articulate children to ever exist in history. They'd be out here quoting Shakespeare, not struggling to read.
To prevent it, get off this damn phone and sit and read a book. Read a book. Enrich your mind. Stop doom scrolling. What do you mean? They're on the damn phone all day, so their brain is mush.
Flavors.
And she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, I can't read.
So what actually happened? Well, if you ask people, you'll get different answers every single time. Some will say it's TikTok, some will say it's the iPads, some say it's the pandemic, some say the parents or the teachers.
It is the pandemic, bro. My little brother, I was too old. I wasn't in school when the pandemic was going on, right? What up, King? How you doing? We watching a video about Gen Alpha being cooked. They can't read. So my brother, right? During the pandemic, he would play 2K all day. So he'll have the laptop up, making it seem like he's paying attention. He's on the game. He'll literally play the game, watch anime. Play the game, watch anime. Play the game, watch anime. He wouldn't do nothing else. Like, he was not paying attention at all, bro. And you just see it with these kids. They're like, it's like nothing that's going, like, it's nothing that's going on up there, bro. Like, they can't understand things. It's crazy.
Or it's something called Skibbity Toilets, which apparently is not even a thing anymore, according to my sources.
It's dead, yeah.
Anyway, personally, I like to say it's a combination of all of those things and more. So let's start with the pandemic, which honestly, looking back, didn't even feel real because we as a society were so ill-prepared to deal with what happened. And somehow the solution to all of this was just to put a bunch of kids on Zoom calls and hope for the best.
Different paragraphs. Yes, Sarah?
Oh my God.
I can't hear you. There you go. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, if I was a teacher during this time, I would have lost my mind.
Music, turn it off. I will mark you as okay. Music off. Okay. Why are you, Mr. Morales, why are you putting all that money there?
Bro, that's not happening in real life, bro. Nah, bro. You ever see those videos of the people that joins like all the like school groups or like the little workout groups and shit? You know what I'm You know what I'm talking about? And then they play like memes and shit, or they like troll.
No, I would have quit like immediately because
I would have been dying laughing.
And it's not like there were any consequences for being
You at home! You can't do anything when you at home. When you at school, it's different.
In Zoom either, because you can't really give detention over Zoom. Like, what is a teacher gonna do? Kick you out of the call? Oh no, I guess I'll go play Minecraft now.
Mr. Morales, why are you putting all that money there?
Now, the kids that I feel the worst for aren't even the ones that are messing around, right? It's the ones that started school during all of this. Because those first few years are the ones where basically everything starts. It's when you learn how to read, write, basically listen, follow instructions, and how to exist in a room with other kids without being disrupted. And a lot of that just does not translate through a screen, especially if you're like 5.
Nathan, can you wave hi to your friends?
Wave.
Hi, buddy.
Wave.
Can you give us a smile? I see your ring.
I love how she goes from
See, that's
wave
why,
to
like,
wave.
you can be, like, if you're on a computer, right? You can be frozen and sit there. In real life, if you glitch in somebody's, you can't glitch in somebody's face, bro.
Wave.
Like, it forces you
And
to
yeah,
think
I'd
on
be
the fly.
side-eyeing too, because imagine this is your first experience with education, and it's some strange lady you've never met before on a screen telling you to smile.
Can you give us a smile?
On top of that, you'd have your audio lagging, your video freezing. Half of the class wouldn't be paying attention, and the internet would cut out because someone decided to use the microwave. Oh, just me. Must be nice. And that's just assuming you haven't had like a nice setup to
Bro, I graduated in 2020. My school canceled the Zoom class because we either didn't go or some families was day drinking. What the fuck? I did it with my homie's family. I smoked on Zoom too, and my teachers knew I did it and was pissed. I mean, they can't do shit.
start with, because if you are in a crowded apartment, sharing a device with siblings, while your parents are also trying to work from home, right? Good luck learning anything. So by the time that classrooms opened back up, a whole generation of kids had spent their formative years learning that school is something that happens on a screen.
Yeah,
they can scroll
and they're missing out on like, this is what my brother was doing. This is exactly what he was doing. And then it's like you're not socializing. Like a whole year without socialization. I feel like even at my age, like if you don't use it, you lose it. And then it's like you have to build that skill of being able to talk to people again all over. You know, and these kids, like, those were the years where you needed to pick up those skills of being around different kinds of
TikTok
people.
from their phones while sitting in a class. And teachers are just a voice on a screen. And learning is optional when you can just turn your camera off.
Antonio? Antonio? Antonio!
Yes?
Where were you?
I was here the whole time. My Wi-Fi was lagging.
That being said though, depending on when you're watching this, COVID was a long time ago, and a lot of teachers are starting to say the same thing, that at some point we have to stop using it as an excuse. Because if your kid still can't read, write, or have any social skills, you cannot blame COVID anymore. And yes, that period of time did rewrite how we do school, how kids learn, and how parents, you know, parent. And yes, for a while everything was chaotic. There were no rules, no structure, and no real accountability. And honestly, that made sense for the time. But the problem is we never fully went back. Okay, if anything, we stayed in COVID, because when you compare it to how things were before, it really starts to feel like we've relaxed way too much as a society when it comes to expectations. Like, for example, I get it that back then it was okay to just throw your iPad at your kid if you needed to.
I feel like also now too, like, there's no competition no more. Like, I remember growing up, like, if you, like, there was no participation trophies. There was no kid left behind. It wasn't none of that. It was like, oh, you're falling behind, you're going to Saturday school. You know, like, I remember they had programs where it was like, you had to come to school on Saturday and you had to study. And they would serve breakfast, which was like, I used to go and do that. And I used to love that they had breakfast. But, like, literally, you had to go to school on Saturday and study and do work. You know, and like there was like things that you had to do. Maybe you had to stay during summer. Like, they don't have none of that shit anymore. They just, everybody's a winner. Nobody loses. Like, we need to embrace competition. Yeah, they had Saturday school. Like when I was in elementary, bro. I'm telling you.
Do some work from home for 20 minutes. But that was supposed to be temporary. And instead it became like the new normal. And now you just see kids with iPads everywhere. In restaurants.
Can we normalize kids and iPads in restaurants? Parents need downtime too, time to connect and have adult conversations, which means that you don't want to parent your kid. Hey, I'm just gonna leave them on the internet with headphones and like, look at this. You're completely desensitized, like you're detached from where you're at. And then you wonder why the kid isn't paying attention in school. You have your headphones on, you're looking at a screen, you're not teaching them to be locked in at all. Hell no. Why even, if you're going to just dump the iPad on your kid when they're annoying, why even have an iPad? Like, why even have a kid? Like, why have kids, bro? You know, I don't like that. I feel like if you have a parent, like if you're a parent, that job is a job that you never unplug from, bro, unfortunately, you know?
While they're grocery shopping. And babies are being handed iPads before they could even learn to say, Mama, come with me to Best Buy to get my 1-year-old toddler's iPads.
What? Come to Best Buy with me and my baby girls.
See, and then it's like influencer mom, like, this is a recession indicator, bro. Come with me to go, blah, 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 blah. Like, the mom want to be an influencer. This is our generation, bro. The mom want to be an influencer. She want to be a baddie. She want to get a BBL. She's swiping on Instagram Reels. The kids are getting, look, they don't even look like they got a consciousness yet. You put an iPad in front of them and shit. I had a laptop growing up, but I didn't have a laptop until I was like in middle school. You know, I didn't have a laptop till I was like in 7th grade. And I had a cheap laptop. Like, that shit would overheat and everything. And then I didn't get a phone until I was a senior in high school, bro. Like, I didn't get a phone until I was 17 years old. So these kids are getting iPads immediately. Like, get them a fucking hook.
I am gonna buy them some iPads.
Yes. Now, at first I thought she was joking because what do you mean 1-year-olds are getting iPads? I thought she was gonna take them like instead to like a bookstore or maybe like a game store. No, she's She's dead serious.
Let me see how she looks with an iPad in her hand. Is it too big for you? Oh my goodness.
They already look. They already know what to do. Start tapping that
I
bitch.
decided on an iPad. I'm getting 2, of course.
It's so crazy to think that I got my
2, of course, because I have 2 kids and both my kids gotta have fun.
first iPhone when I was, I think, 14. And now 1-year-olds are getting
I did
iPad.
get an iPod though when I was in 7th. Well, no, when I was in like 8th grade, 9th grade.
What? Listen, I get it. Raising kids is really hard. I'm not pretending that it isn't. But is it so hard? The solution is just a screen millimeters away from their face. With flashing colors and bouncing shapes to keep them entertained. Like, I feel like we skipped a few steps there. Because all you really need to do to entertain like a 1-year-old
I don't think technology is bad for the kids. The thing a lot of parents use to conduct their kids is to immerse. Yeah, but it's like, bro, your kid should not be growing up in front of a screen, bro. That's unhealthy.
Peekaboo. Like, literally, that's it. We went from peekaboo to handing them a fully optimized, highly addictive dopamine machine before they could
a death machine. Literally, bro. Literally.
barely even walk. I feel like that's a little extreme.
I'm a retired middle school teacher here, but I do sub now, and I sub a lot in kindergarten. Here's what I looked about teaching, and
she's kind of bad.
I want to talk about the iPad kid. I see kids who cannot use their words. They don't know how to wait their turn. They can't hold scissors. They don't know how to hold a pencil. They don't know how to spell their own name. By the time your child gets to kindergarten, they should know their ABCs, and they should know a lot of their numbers. I'm not telling you everything has to be perfect, but as I sub, I am seeing a lot of children with a lot of those deficits. But there's one thing they do know how to do, and that is how to turn on an iPad and how to use it.
Yeah, they grow up knowing how to use that to its full capability.
First, in my boomer brain, I thought that this was just bad parenting, right? Parents are handing their kids iPads from when they were 1 and letting them get hooked, and it's affecting their development. I thought that was the obvious answer, right? But then I realized that it's actually not just the parents. It's the schools too. A report found
yeah, they're giving them technology. They're giving them laptops and a bunch of stuff to use.
that 94% of public schools surveyed provided digital devices to students in 2022.
Yeah.
94%. So it's like
Sweden stopped doing it. They're not doing that.
Not something you just get on the
Not everyone should be parents. We need to start calling out people for not being parents once you have a kid. You need to stop. Yeah, exactly, bro. It's like once you choose to have a kid, like you made a lifelong decision. Like, I don't even think 18 years is a thing. Like, I think even up until early adulthood, like, you're responsible for this person that you brought into the world, you know? And parents, they just, like, it's, like, sensationalized to be a parent, bro.
weekends. No, it's something you have all day, every day, during school, after school, literally all the time. There was actually this reporter who visited a kindergarten in Seattle and saw something kind of insane. There were kids sitting on the playground before school, locked into their school-issued iPads. And she made a simple point. I do not know any educator, parent, or child expert who hasn't been bought by big tech who would argue that scrolling on an iPad before school instead of running around playing with friends is inherently better for children, especially when we know that those same children are about to enter a building where they will continue to use that same device while seated in their desks in the classroom. Now, iPads on the playground alone is shocking enough, but we also have some recent data showing that children ages 8 to 18 average 7.5 hours per day on screen-based media outside of school. So when do they ever get a break from a school?
Oh my God, 7.5. That's a third of the day. So you already in school using your computer, but now, or your iPad or whatever the fuck, and then you're still on the screen. So when you wake up to when you go to sleep, you're looking at the screen, bro.
Do they ever experience boredom, silence, or just thinking? Because this constant use of short-form
No, there is no thinking because you're constantly being stimulated.
technology is creating a multitude of issues, starting with memory and learning.
Random teacher rant. Look, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why children are not able to retain information anymore. Like, what's the problem? We just spent 3-4 weeks practicing, rehearsing, going over the lesson, doing worksheets, doing whiteboard work. Repeat it again. And then we come to the test, and I got kids looking at me like, I don't know what to do. Yo, we just spent all this time, and you retained nothing. And it'd be different if it was 1 or 2 kids, but it's like 10.
I genuinely think this is, again, the
Hey,
fault
bro,
of...
what would you do if you did that? Oh my God. You know what we need to do? Unpopular opinion. You know how they used to spank kids? We need to bring that The moment you don't pay attention, we need negative reinforcement. Yo, you just get spanked or you get pinched or some shit.
technology, because once you bring a device,
we gotta make this shit animalistic, bro. We need pain and pleasure. We need to treat kids like dogs. Oh, we need to have positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Oh my God. We need to start putting shot collars on kids, bro. It's like, nah. Kidding. I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. iPad parents are modern day deadbeats. They might, yeah, dude. It's crazy. They're not even nurturing their kids. My kid be allowed to beat up his teacher if they try that. Come on, bro.
Into the classroom, teachers are having to compete for students' attention because while the teacher's trying to explain something step by step, students are being constantly bombarded with information from all directions: social media, the news, online videos, etc. This constant influx of information can make it harder for students to focus and remember what they learn in the classroom. I mean, the brain can only handle
yeah, imagine you learn one thing, but then you also learn like 50 useless things. That's another thing about the internet, bro. We're constantly learning useless information. Like, think about all the internet drama. That is holding up like space in our mind. You know what I mean? Like useless drama. Think about all like the useless shit that these kids are picking up, like brain rot lore and like all this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're just sitting here absorbing this
so much information at once. When it's constantly being fed new data, it becomes harder to store and retrieve important information.
Part of the problem we have in education nowadays is that we're teaching, but students aren't remembering things in their brain. And there's a perfect example of this that literally happened to me today. We spent most of the first semester drilling paragraph and response writing and that sort of thing because my 8th graders did not know how to write paragraphs at the beginning of this year. But I taught them. They knew how to write paragraphs. They could do it. They could label all the parts. We did a whole activity near the end of the semester where they made posters of all the things they learned and put them on the walls displaying student work. And then today, I asked the class, what are the parts of a paragraph? Expecting quick responses. And I get silence. All 6 of my classes today. Utter silence. See, I can do high quality instruction as much as I want, but if the students themselves are not engaging with it, I can't force them to do that. I can't step into their brains and make them do it. And yet at the end of the year, if they don't know how to do that, it's going to be my fault.
Now, if you thought things couldn't get more complicated already, we now have AI. And this is where problems shift from, you know, attention, memory, and learning to thinking itself.
Yeah, why would I have to think about anything when I can just ask ChatGPT, I can ask Grok, I can ask Claude, and it can just pull up everything for me. I don't have to go and actually read an article. I just have to read a small passage.
To a report based on 1,000 parents, 46% of Gen Alpha use AI for research, 44% use it for their schoolwork, and 25% regularly chat with AI bots.
That is crazy. That is actually scary. Bro, my question is this, right? No, scrap what I just said. I seen a video where a teacher was talking about how she got in an argument with a kid because she asked AI to answer a question for her, and the answer was wrong, and she's like, no, but AI said it, and she's like, just because the AI said it, that doesn't mean it's right, and the kid could not wrap their mind around it.
So it's not just essays being written by AI anymore, it's, you know, doing the research, it's giving them the answers, it's doing the whole thinking process itself, and the students aren't the only ones using it.
Hey kids, hey teach, welcome back to school. Sorry, who are you?
I'm artificial intelligence.
You're not a student here, you're not even human.
Yeah, but I go here.
But you're not enrolled.
You and I both know that schools all over the country have embraced AI.
Not me, pal.
Oh yeah? Who prepared those worksheets you're about to pass out? 2.5 million teachers use an app called Magic School AI. I'm coming in.
Class, I'd like to welcome our new student AI.
Oh yeah, we know him.
So the teachers are using AI, and the students are using the AI to answer the AI. We're cooked.
But you're seniors, it's been that long? Yeah, we've been cheating off him since the middle of freshman year. But we don't even have laws to deal with you.
President Trump signed an executive order in April promoting the use of AI for American youth.
Wow, and you know all those tech people, Elon, Google, Sam Altman, these guys are just Jeff Bezos. Of course they want AI pushed on us. They want us to embrace it because it's going to replace us. It's going to replace us, bro. Like, the future is going to be crazy, man.
Can you take notes for me?
Sure thing. Trump also unveiled a vision of global AI dominance in a 23-page detailed document.
Do you want to teach the class?
Sure. What do you want to learn today?
Nothing.
Okay, I love you.
Now, the biggest problem that I have with ChatGPT and AI is that it's not some all-knowing genius, okay? It just generates answers. And sometimes those answers
it pulls from the internet, and it's not always right.
Are completely made up. More than 2 years after the arrival of ChatGPT, tech companies, office workers, and everyday consumers are using AI bots for an increasingly wide array of tasks. There is still no way of ensuring that these systems produce accurate information. The newest and most powerful technologies, so-called reasoning systems from companies like OpenAI, Google, and the Chinese startup DeepSeek, are generating more errors, not fewer. As their math skills have notably improved, their handle on facts have gotten shakier. It is not entirely clear why. Today's AI bots are based on
chatbots just pull information from the internet, from Google. The internet is riddled with misinformation. That's why.
Complex mathematical systems that learn their skills by analyzing enormous amounts of digital data. They do not and cannot decide what is true and what is false.
See?
Sometimes they just make stuff up, a phenomena some AI researchers call hallucinations. On one test, the hallucination rates of newer AI systems were as high as 79%.
What the
If
fuck?
almost 50% of Gen Alpha kids are using
79?
AI as an essential tool in their research, it's also likely that at least 80% of that information is wrong. We are so doomed.
This MIT study about AI just revealed something huge. In the experiment, students wrote timed essays using either just their own brains, Google search, or ChatGPT. And the ChatGPT group didn't just do worse, they couldn't remember a single accurate quote from what they had just written. Their brain scans also showed the same thing, the weakest activity and connection between areas, the shallowest processing. The researchers called it cognitive debt. You save effort now, but you pay for it later with worse recall and weaker thinking. Okay, but here's the twist. When students started with their own brain first and only used ChatGPT afterward, their essays actually improved and their recollection.
That's how you're supposed to use this. It's supposed to be a tool. You're supposed to have already done the majority of the work and then use it to facilitate the shit that you didn't want to do. You don't just have that shit write the whole thing, you know? Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I've used ChatGPT to help me with resumes, like ATS format resumes and shit. You know what I mean? So it helps when you already put the information. I used my taxes. I put all of my information in there and I said, organize it like this, like this, like this. And I was going through and correcting it, you know?
What they'd written was strong. Their brain activity and connectivity remained high. But the students who started with ChatGPT, even when they moved to their own brains, they got stuck in the mental groove that AI created, even when the AI was taken away. So the rule is simple. Brain first, ChatGPT second.
Now look, I personally am not completely against AI because realistically, I don't think it's going anywhere. That's why our only option here is to teach the next generation to use it properly. But the biggest problem is that the iPad generation is already at a huge disadvantage because we're talking about kids who struggle to focus, who can't retain information, who are used to getting instant answers for everything. So expecting them to suddenly slow down and question every response, right? To think critically about what they're being told, that's a huge—
Yeah, these kids don't think, man. They can't even watch a full TikTok for more than 3 seconds. They watch and then they write a comment and then they swipe.
Huge ass.
It's frustrating and it's disheartening because if I ask a child to handwrite something, even just a paragraph, 5 sentences, basic paragraph, they roll their eyes, they throw tantrums, I'm talking about high schoolers. I teach 10th grade now. They get really, really unruly, and because I'm young too, they want to argue with me about it and they want to say, why can't we just type it? Why can't we just type it? Well, it's because you'll go on another website or you'll copy it or use AI, you'll use ChatGPT. And I understand that our world is going in a direction where AI is going to be more prevalent, even in the workforce someday. That still doesn't take away that these are basic skills you need to survive.
And that's why this doesn't start in the classroom, okay? It starts at home with something as simple as actually helping your child learn. Because guess what?
My parents didn't do that. I had to figure out everything on my own, bro. I stand by pencil and paper. What's good, Hannah Jane? Nah, facts. Bro, did I have my notebook? Oh yeah, my notebook. I got a few notebooks. I got it on my bed right now. Here. This is a fresh one though. This is a fresh one. I didn't write anything in here yet, but I literally was like, I didn't write anything in here yet, but I'm about to start like really writing in notebooks and shit again, bro, and just like really getting shit out there, because that's good for you, bro. Like, you got to start critically thinking, and like, do y'all know the lady who recently died? She was one of the missing scientists. Her name is Hannah. Was it Hannah? It's like something Eskridge, right? And basically, she was like, oh, I could literally learn anything in like a certain amount of time. I think she said like in a month or like a week, because she knows the framework of how to learn. So that's kind of what I want to learn. Like, I want to learn how to learn so that I could learn anything. You know what I'm saying?
Parent is actually the child's first teacher.
Bro, I got a giant whiteboard because I'm a nerd and I have to draw shit out in graphs and equations. Smart, literally.
I was in Costco today with my husband. I saw a woman who had her 2 children in the carriage, and each child had an iPad and earphones on. They were about kindergarten, first grade. And I said to my husband, those are your iPad kids. And he said, well, what else do you expect the mom to do? I said, the mom could do a lot of things right now. Take the iPads away. Take the kids out of the carriage, let them walk. Teach them how to say excuse me to people that they're coming in front of. Social skill. Ask your child to look for an item using the ABCs, spelling things out. Maybe doing a little bit of math with your child in terms of
No, my mom didn't do none of that. My mom didn't do none of that. We would go to Costco. She'd be like, we just walk around, get samples, eat, it's free, eat.
What's the items cost? Asking your child to be in charge with the cashier so that they can talk to the cashier to develop those social skills. You see,
What did we think parents did before iPads? I mean, bro, they're gonna have to. We're gonna have to get back to it, and parents are gonna have to do something. You know, you're probably gonna have to start counting or like quizzing your kid. What's 1 times 1? What's 3 times 3? Say the ABCs. Now say it backwards. You know?
So at that moment in time, there were so many opportunities for
Bro, your kid got a fat ass iPad with headphones in and they're swiping in the cart and you don't know. Come on, bro.
Parent to be a teacher.
Now, all of that sounds really nice, in theory, until you realize that a lot of parents genuinely don't care about their kids' education. And some of them even get annoyed when their kids get homework.
So I'm scrolling on Facebook,
because they don't know how to fuck do the homework. They don't know how to fuck do the homework, bro. Come on.
Business as one does, and I came across this post, and it says they done it again. How do I set up a parent-teacher conference? Because baby be effing for real. And I was like, I was confused because I didn't see nothing wrong with this. And come to find out, she was upset that her 2-year-old child had homework, which they need to do homework. They need to learn. That's the point of going to school. But I kept going.
You know what I never understood? That's another thing. Homework. I'm sorry, kids don't need homework. Kids need to actually learn. Because, bro, think about it. We in school, right? It's 24 hours in a day. I'm a kid. I'm a growing kid, which means that I need to be sleeping 8 hours, maybe even more. And then I'm at school for 8 hours a day. And then I have a block of time that I get to just be a kid. I understand that it's one piece of paper, especially when you're like in elementary school. It's not that bad. But as you grow up, they be slamming you with homework. Like, why the fuck was I at school? I was at school to learn. Why am I doing work outside of school? That's stupid. Like, that. What was the point of, what was I doing at school then? If you're making me do shit outside of school, what the fuck was I doing in school? It never makes sense. Like, I was in school for a reason, to learn and to practice and to do my shit. It doesn't make sense, bro.
Years, and I kept seeing a common theme. So the next post I saw was this one, and it says, I'm actually concerned. I just looked at my baby's papers. It's on all papers. Why the dumb school system teaching the babies to spell wrong? And so I was confused, and I was looking at the shit, and I didn't see nothing wrong. Come to find out, they're talking about where it says color. They think that is spelled wrong.
That's
this last one say, if the teacher can't spell, how she teaching them kids? God, why do you let dumb people procreate? This is why the kids are slow. This is why the teachers quitting. This is why the teachers don't like teaching y'all kids. Y'all send y'all kids to go to school and learn. Then they gotta come home and have a conversation with you.
Oh Lord. Okay, so fun fact: the way that color is spelled right there is actually correct for British English or
Hannah
English
Jane,
for the rest of the.
Thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. Sadly, we live in a really competitive society, and more sadly, we live in a society that really don't embrace helping others. So this is Darwin's law. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. We actually need competition. I think we live in a world right now where there is no competition. You know, I think they've been trying to steer us away from competing. And I think we live in a world where, like, if you're up, they still, well, everybody wins. Everybody, it's okay. Here's your participation trophy. No kid left behind. Yeah, you failed. Yeah, you didn't even try. But we're going to bring you up to second grade, even though you failed first grade. There's no negative repercussion. Like, if you fail first grade, you're going to stay in first grade. You failed, you know? You failed first grade. You're going to stay in first grade. And you're going to have to deal with the shame that comes with failing. You're going to deal with the shame of having to repeat a grade, you know? And you're going to learn to never do that again. And here's the thing, bro. School in general, all the way up until high school, You literally just have to try. Because I remember I was in history class, and I think I was in 9th grade. I wasn't even taking like honors history. We just took regular history, right? And I had this teacher. He was so cool. Like, he was a good teacher. Like, he made the class fun. Like, he made it engaging to listen to everything. He had like really interactive presentations, and he did a good job of getting you like interested in shit. So people were like, the majority of the class was locked in, but there was a group of students that they didn't even try. Like, they didn't try to pay attention. They didn't try to learn. They didn't engage with nothing. And he was literally telling these kids, he's like, bro, all you have to do is literally just write your name on the paper and I'm going to give you a C. He's literally telling them, you don't have to do nothing and you will get a C. Just put literally not even a 1% effort, 0.5%. Just write your name. They weren't even doing that, and they were failing. Literally failed, like not even trying. Like, all you literally have to do is try, and you make it. So come on. I used to be able to fail classes until high school. All you had to do was turn in one assignment past 8th grade, and you pass. Literally. Like, literally, bro. All you literally had to do is just try. Just try. And those kids still graduated, you know? And even if you f*** up in high school, you can go to a community college, right? And then all that you did in high school really doesn't matter because you're in college now, you know? And then once you make it in college, all you got to do is just cheat and you get through.
The world. For some reason, Americans just decided to slightly switch spellings of some words like color or flavor, humor, labor, neighbor,
British,
also
yep.
apologize
Flavor,
or organize, and some really difficult words like leukemia, maneuver, estrogen, and pediatric. And then for some reason, they decided to change the spelling of the word mom, which still messes me up to this
Mom.
day. Look at you guys learning so much stuff on this channel. Now, I really hope that most parents know that, because if they don't, how are they supposed to teach their kids? Because the scary part is, according to the US National Adult Literacy Survey, about 21% of adults are illiterate.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. We have a literacy problem. Yes, we do. Bro. Yes. Look at this. 54% of adults, so this is over half, have a literacy below a 6th grade reading level. 20% are below 5th grade. 21% of adults are illiterate. So even the adults are stupid.
Meaning they struggle to read things like the newspaper or even basic health information. So
bro,
think
how
about
am I not a millionaire, gang? Like, you know what's crazy? You don't even have to read, and you could be like Rakai and be a fucking millionaire, bro. That shit is crazy.
Off for a second. Okay, if the parent struggles to read, how is the child supposed to learn? So maybe it isn't just the iPad or COVID or teachers or any other excuse you want to make. Sometimes it all starts in the home. Okay, so this video has been pretty bleak, so let me give you some actual good news. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University gave struggling child readers 100 hours of intensive instructions, and the results were kind of insane. Within 100 hours, the gray matter in their brains linked to reading actually increased. So no.
Ooh, and then it's like, bro, our brains, especially at that age, your brain is it's called plastic. So it's like, your brain is so malleable because it's developing. And so if you're just hitting it with these bad, whatchamacallit, when you hitting it with these bad, like, habits, like doom scrolling and all this shit, just tearing up your prefrontal cortex. Yeah, plasticity, that's what I meant. Yes, thank you. Plasticity. You're just tearing that shit up. But then the moment that you start doing things that you need to be doing, you start enriching your brain, bro, literally. Yo, what up, Bosmic? Yo, Bosmic. What's up, gang?
Gen Alpha isn't completely doomed. All it takes is around 100 hours to start seeing real physical changes in the brain, which also brings me to Kai Cenat. I know.
Hey, when I said Rakai, Loki, I'm like, nah, let me not bring up my boy, bro. Let me not my mans, because he was definitely putting in effort, bro. Hey, he was reading for Vivette, bro. Come on, he was actually reading, though. You gonna get mad at my mans for not reading, though? Like, at least he picking up the book. At least he doing the work, though.
Am I talking about Kai Cenat? Well, if you've never heard of him, he is one of the biggest streamers in the world right now. And recently, alongside...
Hey, they never gonna let him breathe. They never gonna let bro live this down. Like, all he wanted to do was improve his reading, bro. And they're gonna always throw this shit in his face. Oh my God. Yo, what up, Darren? Darren, how you doing today? You be like, yeah, I know, bro. That's on me, bro. That's on me, bro.
His usual streams, he decided to challenge himself to read more. And this wasn't a joke or a bit. He actually literally sat down live in front of 80,000 people every single day and started to read for 15 to 20 minutes a day.
I realized that if I create reasons of why I love her, then it makes my love for her conditional.
And he wasn't even trying to act smart about it, okay? If he didn't know a word, he just stopped and looked it up. He sounded it out. He tried again, which is something most people wouldn't even do by themselves, let alone...
Yeah, you know, when I was learning about the David, I learned a new word, lascivious. Lewd and lascivious acts. I'm like, what is this word? I didn't know what that word it was. Now I know what it is. We're constantly learning, bro. You're constantly learning, bro. We gotta start reading. We gotta start enriching our minds. That's the type of shit I'm on, bro. Like, we can't be complacent, bro. It's so easy to get complacent and just go with the flow. Like, sometimes we gotta challenge ourselves, bro. I did not know about Kai streaming himself reading. He's got an entire channel called Kai's Mind where he does like self-development. And then he also does stuff like that. I'm happily chronically offline. That is good. That's a flex. Yo, Arcane, what's good, Arcane? Complacent. Yeah, that's a word. You don't know about complacent? Come on, man. Look, if I really wanted to articulate myself in a manner that really accentuates my ability, my ability, my cognitive abilities, then I could do that. And I feel like I do an adequate job so far, but I would love to increase that. Ooh! Look at that. I have a good Rolodex of words. You feel me? Come on. I have a lexicon. See, I don't even know what these words are, bro. Popcorn. Yo, we should do. Yo, y'all want to do popcorn reading? Let's do popcorn reading.
One of that many people.
Spontaneity. How do I pronounce that?
Yeah, I actually love this
word. Spontaneity. The condition of being spontaneous, spontaneity.
And I don't know, it's kind of nice to see. Like, reading isn't this boring school-only thing anymore, okay? Because whether Kai realizes it or not, he's kind of making learning look normal again. And showing millions of kids that it's okay not to know things straight away and figure it out.
I wish we would have had more creative writing classes too. We needed that. I'm not gonna lie. Kids need more outlets for creativity, bro.
You go.
The reason why I started reading was because I didn't like the way I spoke. Be honest, I wanted to articulate myself better, and I noticed when I got into arguments and had to get a point across, people were not taking me serious at all at serious moments, and I would have anxiety build up, and then I would start over my words and I not know what happened. So hopefully me reading, and I also have been writing as well, helps improve the way I articulate myself.
And there's plenty of other people on TikTok doing the same thing, like Cornelius, who never went to school and is now teaching himself how to read.
It's late. Why is it?
Damn, I never attended school, nor was I homeschooled. What? How do you get away with some shit like this? Like, how is the government not snatching you up, bro, or sending your parents to jail? I never attended school, nor was I homeschooled. As an adult, I am currently learning how to read. He looks like he's doing a good job. If you'd like to watch me grow, please press the follow button and join me on my journey.
My son,
yeah, that's illegal.
Yet. I know he's old enough to take care of himself.
And look, Gen Alpha aren't all brain rot, skibbity toilet, and literacy crises either, okay? Because the older teenagers who are between 11 and 16 care about the environment issues, about animal welfare, and about women's rights. And a survey, only 11% of parents said their teens show no interest in social causes at all. And that says it all. I mean, this is a generation of people who are aware of
they're very aware of social dynamics. You gotta give them that.
World around them. They're not always just scrolling mindlessly, they're actually reading the news sometimes, if they can read. Now, while we're talking about reading, I want to show you some of my favorite books. Listen, I like lots of books, but my particularly favorite books are by Robert Greene. And I have read every
ball knowledge.
Robert Greene books, but my favorite ones are The Laws of Human Nature, The Art of Seduction, and The 48 Laws of Power. If you want something fun
Are you trying to manipulate somebody?
Read that has a bit of history, Robert Greene. Or if you want to read something complete.
Yeah, mastery. I want to get the mastery book. I heard that's good. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Put that phone down. Pick up that book, start writing from time to time, man. Hey, YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Make sure you tap in with the Twitch, and we'll see y'all later.